Hi everyone, it's Taylor. Welcome back to my channel. I'm an American expat living in Malaysia and I like to share my life and travels with you. Well, today I'm going to a new restaurant with a viewer, Klaus. Originally from the Netherlands, but he has an interesting story. But anyway, Torito's a brand new restaurant in the Banyan Tree Hotel. It's on the 53rd floor with a gorgeous view of KLCC. Sound interesting? Stay tuned. Well, the restaurant's off there in the distance somewhere. I'm not quite sure which building it is, but I'm going to try to figure it out so I can see it from my window. But this is an interesting restaurant. It's a Peruvian Japanese fusion restaurant. Who ever heard of that? Well, I certainly never have, and Klaus hadn't either. So we're going to check it out for you and let you know what it's like. Well, what do you think of my outfit? The dress code is smart casual. Is this smart casual? I think so. Anyway, this is, like my favorite shirt because it's sort of formal, but still casual at the same time. But most of the restaurants here do let you just dress like this. I've never had to wear a jacket in any restaurant in KL, or in Malaysia for that matter. The only time I've worn my suit since I've lived here was to a funeral, sadly. But I think I look pretty good. What do y'all think? They say black is slimming. Well, I don't know about that when you're as big as I am, but I think it helps. So I'm going to take a Grab down to the hotel, which is right near Pavilion Mall. And then the restaurant is on the 53rd floor. And as I mentioned, it's a pretty new restaurant. I think it's just a few months old. But they have another restaurant there called Horizon Grill. And I'm not sure if it's taken its place or not. I'll find out when I get there. I don't think so, though. I think it's on a separate floor, but we'll see. And I don't know how much I'm going to be able to record in the restaurant because it is pretty fancy, but it is lunchtime too. So I'll try to record as much as I can. So I'm going to order my Grab now, and then we'll head on over to the restaurant. See you there. Well, I'm back from the restaurant, and boy, was that a delicious lunch. I'm going to go over it in detail with you later. But first, like I said in my thumbnail, I had a 3-hour lunch. I also had another 3-hour lunch with some other viewers this week, Paula and Zag from the UK. They were a lovely couple, and they took me to my favorite restaurant in the TRX Mall, which I've showcased in another video not long ago. But before I get to that story, I want to tell you something amusing, because I had arranged to have another lunch with another viewer earlier this week, and he didn't show up. Well, can you believe that? Now, he never told me why he didn't show up. I think he might have been embarrassed. But it was totally okay with me. I was close by to my home, I had lunch, and I went about my day afterwards. No big deal. But it does make you a little uncomfortable to be stood up. And so when I was meeting with Zag and Paula, they were a little bit late. And I started to wonder, is something wrong? Why are people standing me up? But it was so funny when they got there. They were so apologetic. It turns out that the elevators were out in the place they were staying. And they had to walk down like 26 flights of stairs and then hurry on over to the restaurant. They were only about 5 minutes late, but because I'd gotten stood up earlier in the week, I was a little bit worried. But they turned out to be a lovely couple. They've lived in Dubai for some time now, and they're thinking about moving, kind of retiring to Southeast Asia. And they're on a 3-month trip now, just searching all over Southeast Asia to see maybe the best fit for them. So far, they've liked KL very much, and then they're heading off to Penang soon. They might be there now, actually. And then they're going to Thailand and check that out, and a couple other places too. But I enjoyed meeting with them so much. They're going to be friends of mine now. Sadly, we were talking so much during lunch that I forgot to take pictures of the food. Sorry, guys, but it's the same thing I had there recently. Well, some of the same things. We had the egg rolls and we had the spicy dumplings, but we had a few other things too, and it was delicious. Thank you so much, Paula and Zag. And then Paula sent me these pictures because she went to the craft center that I recommended, and she did a batik painting of her own. She did it on a tote bag, and boy, is she talented. Take a look at it here. My goodness, Paula, you are really an artist. So back to my Peruvian Japanese fusion lunch. My goodness, that's a fancy restaurant, I do say, as I'm sure you saw in the videos. But I'm going to go over the lunch a little bit more closely now and tell you a little bit about Klaus. Now, Klaus was formerly a monk, can you believe that, in India. And he told me about that when he wrote to me requesting to have lunch with me. And I thought that sounded so interesting, so I wanted to meet him. He's originally from the Netherlands, but was sort of searching in his life and became a monk for many years, I think. And he's quite well known, as I understand. He lived in London after that, but has moved back to Mumbai. But he's really thinking about getting a place here in KL because he loves it, and that would be great to have another friend nearby. So let me tell you a little bit about the lunch. It really is Peruvian-Japanese fusion. I mean, I had to start with a guacamole. Of course, they didn't call it guacamole. I'll put the name that they call it up here because I can't remember. But I'll show you some pictures of the menu too so you can see what it's like. But the guacamole was beautifully presented. They had all the ingredients in a little avocado-shaped thing that was on top of the already mashed avocado. And then the server mixed it all together at the table, which was really nice, so it was wonderfully fresh, just freshly made at the table. Then I had a sushi roll. Now, I know that might surprise some of my viewers because I say I don't like fish, but oddly enough, raw fish isn't the same. Oh, I don't know, I'm just a weirdo, I guess. Don't like fish, but eat raw fish. Go figure. But anyway, the sushi roll had tuna on it, and it was so delicious, as you can see here in this picture. My goodness, it is so artistically done and so yummy. Klaus had a tofu dish, which you can see here, and he also had a potato dish. Now, Klaus is a vegetarian, which, is understandable since he was a monk. But what was nice about this restaurant is it had a separate vegetarian menu, which is why I think he picked it. Because sometimes vegetarian food is a little bit hard to find here. Not crazy hard to find, just a little bit. And then he had sorbet for dessert, and I had the carrot cake, and I don't think carrot cake is Peruvian or Japanese, but it was delicious nonetheless. And it came with carrot ice cream, as you can see here in this picture. The ice cream was shaped like a little miniature carrot. It was delicious. So I had a great time with Klaus. And just like with Paula and Zag, we spent 3 hours at the table chatting. So that's just so nice when that happens, when you really click with somebody. But like I've said before, I know when I meet with my viewers, they already like me. So it just depends on whether I like them or not, and how long I spend, I guess. But we had a nice long talk. And if Klaus moves here, and Paula and Zach for that matter, I'm going to interview them for my channel. Now, Klaus is just thinking of getting a part-time place here. So I was going to tell you if this new Peruvian Japanese restaurant had replaced the restaurant on the roof, and it hasn't. It's on the 53rd floor, and the other's on the 57th floor, I think, the Horizon Grill. But the 53rd floor is by the pool, as you could have seen in my video, or I'll show you here. A little glimpse of the pool, as you can see from the restaurant, which is really nice. That's their cocktail area, I think. So I had a wonderful time, and it really pays the way I suggested that people write to me and tell me all about themselves so I can decide whether to meet with them or not, and also to take me to somewhere a little bit nicer than just a cup of coffee. Both lunches were superb, and I enjoyed it so much. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for inviting me. Well, that's all I have for today, everybody. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and check the notification bell too. That way you won't miss any of my future content. Also, I now have Buy Me a Coffee, as you know, and it's really picked up speed lately. I think because in my worrying video, I was talking about worrying about money. But thanks everyone who contributes and buys me a coffee. It's really appreciated. But that's all I have for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a great week ahead. Talk to you later. Bye. Get